はい、皆さんこんばんは。2026年、令和8年6月10日水曜日、夜中のですね、22時42分。うわ !42 分、これ僕が一番苦手な時だ。やべえ。まあ、1分経てば43分になる。今日はですね、梅沢理事長のところへ行って、新しい本のスタートアップをしました。大空の主権と題して、梅沢理事長と一緒に対談をしています。梅沢理事長は私の兄弟子、つまり、末次一郎先生の、一番弟子の一人ですね。で、今日は、全部で8章、9章あるやつを、最初の3章やりました。すごい回転の早い方で、それから7月8日、原ジョージ先生、今 EU に行っておられるんですが、帰ってきて、それで、キックオフミーティングというか、原口和弘設計塾のオンラインじゃなくてオフラインも入れた。で、80しか入んないんで、ちょっと先生にお願いして、もうお友達は聞いてるからいいよと今回おっしゃっていただいて、80人、これ塾生が中心にですね、優先ですけども、塾生優先で、80人、これも先着になりますね。で、それだけじゃなくて、塾生だけじゃなくて、一般の人も、お金払ったら入れさせろというのが殺到してまして、まあ確かにね、原さんの話は、この近未来っていうか、日本の育成をバッチリ、あれしますから、いっぱいヒントが入ってますんで、あれ、ズームが何人までだったかな ?1000 人までだったかなちょっと、その限界までですね、やれるようにしてみたいと思います。さて、今日の、なんで夜中にやってるかというと、新たなテーマを立ててるんですね。で、それは、人間に AI がそもそも制御できるのかと、朝やったデビッド・アイクさんが投げかけてる、これ私もずっと投げかけてきて、だから AI を戦場に送るなっていうことをやってるわけですけども、もう送ってしまいましたね。送ってしまって、もう自動化っていうかな、なんですね。で、アイクさんがもう一回何言ってるかって、これに対してですね、アンスルピックは、公式見解出してるんですね。で、ちょっと読み間違えてんじゃないですかと、アンスルピックは、AI を人間が制御することを諦めたわけじゃないですよという反論ですね。アンソルピックらしい反論。あれ、インスティテュートっていうか研究所の人が反論してるんですね。で、だからその後僕は、アンソルピックの CEO に2回目のオープンレターを出したわけです。で、どういう構成になってるかっていうと、今日がその第1でですね、まさに制御不能な AI、人間が、うわ、ちょっと目が見えない。これが明るすぎるからな。人間がですね、制御し続けるっていう前提は幻想じゃないかと。これが1ですね。じゃあ、AI の制御を失うリスクに対して、次はですね、いや、自分たちもそれを警告してきたと。アンソロピック自身がですね、制御を失うリスクについて言っているところ。で、3番目は、そうは言っても、人間が制御し続けるという前提は幻想じゃないかっていうけども、 その問い自体は重要なんだけど、制御という言葉を無批判に使うと、誰が主体で誰が客体かが曖昧になると。前提を疑う作業そのものがですね、思考の主権であるということですね。で、開発企業自身の警告というのが2番目です。彼らも同じことを警告してるわけですね。で、完全な再帰的自己改善。AI が自らのその光景を設計するということですね。彼らが自己増殖していくと言ってもいいでしょう。で、3番目が今度はWhen AI build itself をめぐる読み違いがあると。アンスルピックも AI が自分自身を作っていく、ビルドしていくんだっていう、その中で、アイク氏は、自分らももう諦めたと。制御を、そうじゃなくて、アンスルピックが言ってるのは、失わないための備えるべきだということを言ってるんで、いうことですね。で、4番目。つまりこうやってですね、事実と解釈をしっかり切り分ける。つまり情報主権そのものですね。情報主権を守る。私ずっとこの友国連合で言ってますね。情報主権という言葉。これ耳慣れない言葉ですけども、要するにファクト。それと、解釈。これは誰がどう解釈するか、その判断を手放さないということが大事ですね。で、最後に、僕が出したオープンレターについて説明します。だからこれから夜5夜やんなきゃいけないですね。ちょっとかなりしんどい作業ですけど、これとっても大事なんで、ちょっと朝の忙しい時間にやれる話じゃないんでですね。ちょっと落ち着いて言わなきゃいけないし、言い間違いはちょっとなかなかね、厳しいんで、この、まずアイクさんが何て言ってるかっていうのは朝やりましたね。デビッド・アイク氏が言ってきたこと、それはやはり制御そのものが、間違いなんだと。これ、反ジャーナリズムの高橋さんが僕にこれ読んでみてって言われたやつなんですね。これは最初の頃はですね、要するに国際、ディープステートカルトっていうのかな。それがどういう意図で世界を支配しようとしてるかっていう話なんですね。ちょっとこれ、全部本当は見た方がいいんだけど、
Trump are now against Trump and against Israel. So the one thing you can be confident about with Iconic is that you get a consistency of message. And why is that? It's because when you don't fall for political sides and you don't fall for religious sides, you have an open mind that is dispassionately looking at all the evidence and not just that which suits your belief system. And I've seen this week that one of the big influencers, Candace Owens, has been invited to what's called Russia's Davos in St. Petersburg, very much supported by Putin, and a guy who's known as Putin's brain, a bloke called Alexander Dugin.
ドゥギン。
And what I'm seeing is
ドゥギン、とても大事な名前ですね。大事というか、鍵を握っている名前で。で、トランプとプーチン、この二人がですね、いろいろやってるけども、それは一体何なんだと。
people saying, "Oh, it's great, it's brave of Candace to go and try to build bridges with Russia."
架け橋を築こうと試みるの素晴らしいこと。
Does anyone think that Putin agrees to invite Candace Owens because it will build bridges?
架け橋を期待して
Putin, like Zelensky in Ukraine, like Trump, like Netanyahu,
ネタニヤフのように
like all these people around the world, like the leader of China,
the leader of China 中国の
are ultimately controlled by the same global network
もう結
to
局
the
彼らは
same
同じ世界
global
的ネットワーク
end.
の中に
No,
組み込まれて操られている
it's because it suits the Russia-Putin agenda to have her there and question the American funding of Ukraine.
アメリカの資金援助にウクライナに対する
If you
を投げかける
if you look dispassionately at all this stuff that's
国が
going
冷
on,
静に
you can see the common themes. How you can have, for instance, the to and fro between Iran and Trump.
共通のコモンセンス
They're saying this, he's saying that. What's he said today? What have they said? But if you go back one step in the shadows, you can see that the outcome
一歩引いて
of what is happening suits perfectly
国際化のと
this
実現
global cult agenda
してんだ
to dismantle, as Trump is doing in his lunacy,
トランプがルナシー
to dismantle the
うん
current world system.
訳しにくいです
So
ね
the new one,
空気の中でやってる
based
よう
on
に
AI human fusion and AI
AI
digital
と人間の
control,
融合フュージョン
can take its place. Because what is
人間と
happening
変わることはでき
in
ない
the Strait of Hormuz, its knock-on
な
effects
ぜならホルムズ
are
海峡で起きている
having exactly that
まさにそ
effect,
れは現実を変えていく
dismantling
という効果を
the current order. And talking of the AI agenda,
AI のアジェンダ
this is a
というか
story I saw today. Anthropic calls for pause of global AI development. Now, Anthropic is a big AI company that refused demands by the Trump military to
トランプ
give them
政権の
unfettered
軍が
access to the AI tools
無制限なアク
of
セス権を
Anthropic and was dumped by Trump as a result.
した
But this story goes,
その結果として
Anthropic has warned of AI systems that become capable of teaching themselves to get smarter without human help. Hello, that was the idea all along. Artificial intelligence company Anthropic has suggested a global pause on building the most powerful AI systems as the latest models are beginning to show signs they could
AI
escape
システムが
human
人間のコントロールを
control.
奪われる
I mean, the idea that they were ever supposed to be ultimately in human control is ridiculous. The control of a non-human force that's behind all this, for which the global cult is a vehicle,
力の支配下にあるものを
not an end in
生
itself.
み出している
And then, world's first AI-designed vaccine passes human trial.
Wow.
Researchers at the University of Cambridge have used artificial intelligence to create a fundamentally new type of vaccine. Sits back in amazement, can't believe it. This groundbreaking development is said to be the first instance where a vaccine's key component has been entirely designed by AI and tested on humans. The novel vaccine is aimed at providing protection against a wide range of coronaviruses, including COVID-19 variants.
AI が
Oh, beam me up, Scotty. It's bloody mad down here. And animal-borne viruses that could potentially trigger future pandemics. So let me give you a scenario then,
まあ
while our attention is taken in other directions, of an AI-created vaccine
いろんな方向に向いてる間に AI が
that is then imposed mandatorily
人類に
upon
強制
the
的に接
human
種する
population. What AI creates
AI が作り出すものが
is infused into
基本的に全ての
basically all humans. That's the idea.
そういうことだと。
What could possibly
じゃあ
go
何が
wrong?
問題になるか。
But they don't want you to focus on this,
で、
the
俺も
real big,
これに
big
フォー
picture
カスしてほ
of
し
what's
くないんだよ。
happening. They want you having your attention hijacked by endless different situations they put before you.
あなたの注意力を
And
ハ
not
イジャック
these
してる。
sides. So Iran is one of those things. And here's a story from this week. Iran, Russia signed $25 billion nuclear cooperation deal as Tehran presses ahead amid US talks. Iran and Russia have signed a sweeping $25 billion nuclear cooperation agreement to expand Tehran's civilian nuclear infrastructure, deepening strategic ties between the two countries, even as negotiations with the United States continue over efforts to curb the Islamist regime's nuclear activities. It's all theater. And one of the things you will have seen consistently through Iconic is that the plan, as I've been saying in my books since decades ago, has always been to move the center of global power from the West to the East, particularly to China, but also Russia, India, and others, but focused upon China. And that is exactly what's going on with the Russia-China association, alliance, with Iran. And what is the outcome of what is happening if this continues? Even if it's sorted very soon, many consequences are going to follow. But of course, not only have you got a global society that is founded on supplies of energy and supplies for food, of fertilizer, both of which are reduced because of what's happening with Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. But if you want to dismantle the society that currently exists so you can replace it with your next stage, then what do? You look at what that society is founded upon, cheap energy, for example, and you make sure the opposite happens. So you're basically dismantling that society. So we've already seen the price of almost everything start to go up and up and up because of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. And we are now moving towards a situation where even the very supply of it, even if you can afford it, the supply of it is going to be reduced the longer this goes on. America may see actual gasoline shortages by July the 4th, says this headline, and the strategic petroleum reserve is running out. What the countries around the world have been doing is they've got these reserves, these energy reserves, these oil reserves, and they're supposed to be for a rainy day. But what they are doing to try to keep the price down is to use those and put them into the system to try to affect the price. And it's running out. Well, it's running out in so many places, but probably won't run out anything like as quick in China. China holds approximately 1.4 billion barrels of oil in its strategic petroleum reserve, the largest in the world. And they've been building that up. Why? Because they knew this was coming. The US is now below 375 million barrels as opposed to 1.4 billion in China. So 375 million barrels as opposed to 1.4 billion in China, and is dropping by 10 to 18 million barrels per week, according to various analyses. Most experts estimate the reserve needs to hold 500 to 700 million barrels to remain effective in mitigating short-term energy disruptions in a country the size of the United States. And what you started to see, because it's a one-party state, where the same network is in control, whoever's apparently in political power. During the Biden administration, you had these reserves being depleted and to keep the price down. And then after Trump's ridiculous attack, well, ridiculous, but not from the Cole's point of view, attack on Iran, you've seen it now go into overdrive. And I ask you this question. What are the chances of two presidents? I mean, how many people are supposed to be in America? 350 million, something like that? That two presidents, one after the other, are both clearly suffering, while in office, from dementia, Biden and Trump. And if you've got someone suffering from dementia, and someone like Trump who's got this, what the psychologists call malignant narcissism, which means they'll double down rather than back down, hence what's happening with Iran, then just imagine how easy it is for those in the background working that mentality to control events. And if you look at COVID, what happened during COVID was that they enforced or tried to, some of us didn't comply, but most did. They tried to impose lockdowns, working from home, curtailing movement of any kind almost, through mandatory means. You must not do it, it's against the law. But if you have a supply problem, ultimately, if this goes on, for the fuel you need to move, to go to work, then you get the same outcome, except you can't really protest against it in terms of refusing to comply with it, because you haven't got the petrol to put in your bloody car to do what they say you shouldn't do. So what we're seeing is the global economy being systematically dismantled. Why? Because then you can put in your new system, which is digital money controlled. Total control of finances of every individual. To see the rest of the Dot Connector this week and every week, go to...
で、ここでですね、AI っていうのは本当制御できんのかと、できるわけないだろうと言っていて、この続きはまた明日やります。それじゃあ皆さんおやすみなさい。夜中なのに付き合ってくださってありがとうございます。あれよいしょ。